All right, welcome everybody to the Tuesday afternoon team call for Dynasty Strong, the Level Up Squad. We're reading The Greatness Mindset by Lewis Howes. And today we are on pages 227 to 270, chapters 14 through chapter 16. And I love this book. I'll try not to do what I did last week, and I talked for like 20 minutes at the beginning about all of my takeaways. I'll give you guys more of that opportunity to share that stuff. But I do want to remind you guys about Summit coming up. It's like 50 something days away, which is absolutely crazy. But I want to share a little tip. So something, success leaves clues. And I think one of the places that I fall short in sometimes is not just explaining to everybody everything that I do as a coach to position myself to win. You guys know, I feel like we're very good at saying, this is the business activity tracker. Here's the 12 things you do every single day. If you stay consistent at these activities, have the right mindset, the right belief, you'll see results. You'll bring new customers on, you'll bring new clients on, you'll bring new coaches on, you'll help them get results, and the business will build, little bit by little bit. And we talk about that, but there's a lot of other things that I'm consistently doing. So I just want to share a couple of those things with you guys. One of them is my social media. For example, when I'm posting on my social media, a lot of times I'll hear a coach say, I don't have anything inspirational to share, or I don't want to, do a call to action every single day and just be annoying with my business. And I'm like, wait, hold on. We're not going to do call to actions every day. Like, a call to action doesn't mean you invite every single day. A call to action could be like making an engaging post. Like Lacey could say, like, hey, I'm getting ready to do a test or a tournament in my Taekwondo. Has anybody else, is anybody else out there in mixed martial arts? What do you do? Right? It's just some call to action to engage an audience and talk about things that you guys have in common. So one of the things that I do is when I'm reading my personal development book, which is one of our business activity tracker items in our vital behaviors, is every single day, almost every single day, I share something that I learn in my 15 to 20 minutes of reading on my social media. That's my content for the day. And so it's, people will reach out to me and they'll be like, you said exactly what I needed to hear today. And I'm like, I know, it's exactly what I needed to hear today too. I read it. And so I get looked at as this inspirational person that's always teaching these incredible things. But in all reality, I'm just learning myself and teaching it to other people. And so I want to give that advice to you guys, is to create that rapport with people and to become that person, become consistent in teaching your personal development to other people. So that's one big thing that I do. Another big thing that I mentioned one-on-one with someone that I just want to share with everybody on here, because I feel if one coach has this question, then everybody might have the question or whatever, is I told him, I was like, you have to put yourself in the greatest position to win. So I want you to write that down. Put yourself in the best position or the greatest position to win. And I have so many examples about that. I'll share one just recently. So for example, I feel most alive in this business when I get to teach somebody something that I've learned or mastered. Like when I get on and I teach I tell a story, or I teach someone and they're like, that's what I needed to hear. Like, that lights me up. That's my sweet spot in this business. And I didn't get asked to speak at Summit. Like, I saw everybody starting to, they have like 60 or so people speaking at all the different events. And I didn't get asked this year. And I've been a coach for 12 years. And it is nice to have a break. There was one summit where I didn't teach anything. There was one summit, the summit before that, I taught 3 different workshops: the men's event, the Spanish event, and just in the general, and on the compensation plan. And it was a little overwhelming. And then next year I didn't teach any. I was like, this is so awesome. Like, I don't have to be to rehearsals. I can just relax. But I was like, where I'm at right now, wanting to level up, I want to teach, and I didn't get asked. So I just reached out to the head of the Spanish department, and I was like, hey, I feel like I'm the best to teach the compensation plan. Do you have anybody teaching about the compensation plan or how to maximize it? He's like, that's not on our agenda, but I would actually love that. And so like I put myself in that position. So sometimes you might look at someone and be like, how come they get all the opportunities? But it's not always that. It's being prepared and then taking action to put yourself into that position. Now I know that's a little bit of a bigger thing, but just to share some of the other things, two small ones from my first 3 months as a coach. I signed up in April. In June and July, there was a team cup. And no, I'm not leading into join the next team cup because we don't have one yet. But Lindsay Matway was my coach. I'm brand new. I'm not even a 4 month in. And Lindsay says, hey, I'm forming a team cup. Who wants to be on it? I was the first to raise my hand in that group to say, I want to be on the team. Let me quick.
What do you value?
So I volunteered myself. But what happened at that time, I didn't know, like I knew Lindsay recruited like 5 to 10 coaches a month. I'm brand new. Like I signed up my first 5 people that I knew might join me. And I had no other prospects other than the desire to build this business. But I signed up and said, Lindsay, put me on the team. And the cool thing is I surrounded myself with other people that were going after, like we were going for #1 that year, or that was Lindsay's goal. And I hit Success Club 10 my first month, but I honestly felt like I had no more people to talk to because I didn't have a social media and I'm introverted and I work 12-hour days. So I didn't know, but I knew I could figure it out and whatnot. But I put myself on that team. It ended up being Melanie Mitro, Shay Stanford, Katie Hefner, Lindsay Matway, and myself. We all went on to become legacy members, elite coaches in this business. But the thing that was biggest for me is we were texting each other every day about who are our prospects, who are we talking to, what were the objections. Lindsay did a 3-way call for me and signed up one of my first coaches for me or helped me get them on board. And I hit Success Club 36 in that first month. And then did awesome the next month as well, like 20 something. And we got second place. Like I won an iPod. It was awesome. We got recognition. It got me my opportunity to be on my first national wake up call as like to share a little success story. But the thing that it did for me is I believed that I could hit Success Club 10 every single month. I was like, when I hit 36, that in my first couple months, that one time by pushing myself, challenging myself, I was like, because I set this goal of Success Club 10, but there's a little bit of doubt, right? Can I really do it? Like, can I continue to find people? Will I run out of people to talk to? But when I did it that month by challenging myself, putting myself into that position, I really believe like, man, if I could do 36 in 1 month with really no prospects, like just put in the work, like I could hit Success Club 10 every month. Right. And so it just came from putting myself in that place. Like I volunteered and put myself in that position to win. So that's why I'm sharing this over and over. Like the example with speaking at Summit in Spanish, like that could position me to win when we launch in Mexico, right? That like I'm putting myself constantly in a position where I can win, and they're uncomfortable things, right? Signing up on Lindsay's Team Cup, only 2 months in the business, uncomfortable. Speaking Spanish at an event about the compensation plan, uncomfortable. So I want you guys to think about what are some positions that things that you could do to put yourself in that position to win. Even like Matt knows this, like I'm taking, like any of my personally sponsored diamond coaches get to come to my cabin, go boating, ride 4-wheelers and stuff this August. We don't have a specific date because we're making sure everybody that's going to achieve it can be there. But like, that's one of those things where it's like, put yourself in that position to win, like be with Jen Greenberg, be with Tate Cox, be with myself, like do whatever it takes to do that so that you could earn that spot and put yourself in that position. Right. So I want you guys to think about that as my little lesson for this week. And because I'm already at 15 minutes by sharing all those stories, I'm not going to share my takeaway from this book right now. I'm going to let you guys share what some of your takeaways might be. And Matt says, yes, 36 sounds impossible. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody want to share anything from the book?
I will, Scotty. The recurring theme for me, and it's probably just because I really need this a lot is that you like facing fears and finding ways to overcome your fears and to challenge yourself in your fears. That's like my biggest thing the whole the whole book because that's what I need to work on. But I really like how I can't remember where it was, but he broke down steps to overcome your fears and like and steps to do like micro steps to do all of this stuff. I really love that about this book where he just like has all these little tiny things that you can start doing, and if you implement them, you can overcome what's challenging you.
Yeah. I love that. That's one thing I've loved about the book. There was one activity I did yesterday. I think it was writing out. It's like it leaves like 2 pages. What do I want based on your answers? And it's like business, income goal, influence goal, impact goal, relationships goal, professional goal, community goal, wellness. Like it has you actually write out these goals. And I loved that one quote that was on page 246. If you aren't getting the outcome you want, you probably need to evaluate your goals and focus. And then I love that the next page is like 2 pages full of actually stop reading and write out your goals. So I agree. I love that about this book, Lacey. Anybody else want to share anything? What's up, Sam? I saw you hopped on while we were chatting.
Hey, I'll go ahead and share. So I think one of my biggest takeaways, and I can't speak to exactly the reading section. I finished the book about a week ago, so and so I forget what was what. But anyway, for me, and it was obviously an entire section in the first one we did of Brendan Burchard's book, but just it continually came up in my mind of just clarity. We talked about being clarity on who you want to be, who you're going to be, and that's what the whole section about talking about identity and creating your identity and writing that down. And then that last section, kind of what Lacey was just talking about, writing out your goals, being very clear about what your goals are. Not just long-term but short-term goals. And then once you have the clarity of who you want to be, the clarity of what your goals are, what are the steps? Be very clear, be very specific about what are the actions, the steps that you're going to get there. And then how are you going to track that, hold yourself accountable to that, check in with that, whether it's a weekly review, a daily review at the end of each day. But just for me, it was that I know what I want to do. I know kind of in general how to do it. I know kind of who I want to be, what my goals are, but have I been super clear? And I shared this with you a few weeks ago, but that's whenever I really liked the exercise where he said, go through and update your goals. And I sent you my whole list of goals and kind of, but one thing I've been doing is as we've been going through this book, I've gone back and I've read those goals every day and I've tweaked them. I've added to them. I've just kind of continued to refine them, which I think has been pretty critical for me of one, reviewing them daily, and so that I am very clear on them and reminding myself of them. But two, by reviewing them every day starts to really fine tune what really is important. What do I really want? Who do I really want to be? Because what sounded really good in the very beginning may not have been exactly what I wanted on 30 days later. And so I think that's allowed me to just be very clear on, again, who I want to be, what I want to be, and then write out my action steps. Now, obviously, from this business perspective, the BAT just continues to be spot on actions to do that. But my goals are bigger than even just Beachbody. It's bigger than just being the coach. And so there are other aspects of being a father, being a husband, being the spiritual leader of my family, and so it's allowed me to put clarity around everything, and then how it all fits together and how I balance that, because that's always been maybe my biggest challenge is balancing, my full-time job, trying to do this as a side job, having 4 kids, all the things, right? And so just the continual focus on clarity on everything, and then being able to write out the steps to get there, because it can be overwhelming, but writing out the steps to get there and just focusing on today, did I do the steps today, and not necessarily worrying about down the road. So it's been a big help.
I love that. Thank you. You guys can see why Matt is like days away from hitting diamond. Just being super clear on what he wants, not just Beachbody related, but the person that he wants to become, which is these past chapters have talked about that as well. Thanks for sharing that, Matt. Anybody else want to share anything?
I'll share. Excuse me, I'll share. I'm a little behind on the activities, so I didn't get to write out all the goals and stuff. I do know a lot of what my goals are, and I have some really big ones over the next couple years. I did. There's some things that resonated with me with the in the enlisting support chapter. I really liked how he kind of walked through the the dangers to avoid, and it's amazing how common these are. It's like talking about avoiding the people that bring negativity, and it kind of reminded me of I have friends and family members that will they canceled their Facebook because it's so negative, and it's like, well, that's under your control because you're focusing on it and things like that. And it's the same in our life. We can choose to focus on the negative with the negative people, or we can choose to have a positive outlook. And I sure feel a lot better in my day when I have a positive outlook on everything, and don't let any of that kind of drag me down. And then one of the other things in that particular area that resonated with me was avoid getting too extreme in your goals. And I feel like sometimes I have the big goals, and then sometimes I have I'm trying to do 20 different goals at once. And then that goes back to the, figuring out your focus and things like that. And I've gotten better about it over the years, but that was one thing that really stuck out to me, because I used to be really bad about, well, I'm going to do these 10 things all at the same time, and it's just not realistic because it splits your focus too much. And so those are a few things that kind of stuck out to me, at least in this chapter, and I like how they relate back to other things he's talking about, where that goes back to the focus and what are you focusing on, and is that why you're not achieving these goals or whatever.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I love that. Anybody want to feed off of that or share something that you love? Sam, I saw the finger. If I can unmute you too.
Did that work?
You are.
As I dropped the phone. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Yay! It's technical difficulties. I usually do this at home. Oh, now I'm gonna be brain dead a second. So what I thought, I'm sorry, you guys, I was late in driving and had to schedule some stuff at the same time. So what I thought was neat was when he was talking about, I'm good with the 30, 60, 90-day challenge stuff, but I also crash when I'm done a goal really badly. So I think that's the right chapter. I was listening to so much and reading at the same time. Is that in the right section, you guys? Like chapter 14?
Yeah, 14 through.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I was listening on Audible as well, so I think it skipped ahead a little bit. So, but yeah, in chapter 14, I think that's when it was that people will kind of hit their goal and then crash. He used the analogy of a boxing guy who was putting weight on again after every he'd finished his match, and then he'd stop training and kind of like undulate badly. So that struck me, that instead of having a goal and then kind of aiming at it and just crashing after, or feeling like, oh, it wasn't that bad, I should have picked something different, to make sure I'm piggybacking different goals without the extreme that you guys were just talking about, of having too many goals at the same time, where you get you get like a diffusion and a distraction. So that's like the main thing that stuck out to me. And then again, I'm realizing I'm having a really hard time picking the goals, because I've hit a bunch of stuff fairly recently. So now, and you guys know, I only just started like maybe a month ago, signed up again as a coach. So it's like I'd kind of pushed this out of my consciousness for a while, and then had a bunch of other things that really awesome happened. So I'm trying to like recalibrate again of where those goals are. So that's something I just definitely need to sit and focus with, because as you guys all know, and as Lewis keeps talking about, is without the goals, you can't really aim in any particular direction very well. So
Yeah,
I hope that makes some sense.
that does make sense. It kind of goes off what Jeremy was, some of the stuff that Jeremy was sharing about being scattered amongst a lot of goals, or not having that clarity. There's a couple of new coaches on here, like Sam, you're new. Mario just re-enrolled yesterday as well. And so one thing that I want to share, I recently had a new coach that was, operates a couple of full-time businesses, like operates a full-time business, launching another full-time, like brick and mortar business. It takes tons of capital and work and employees and all types of stuff. So, and he's a father. And he was just like, man, I think I jumped in over my head, and I got too much going on. And I was like, I had to have the conversation with him. And I think this is good for anyone on here, because we might all feel like this at some point. I was like, I think this is where a lot of people really fall short, or quit, or do the roller coaster thing, where you work hard for a little bit and then you stop for a little bit, and then you go again, and then you stop, and you never get momentum, because it's always stopping and going. And I was like, I know your person, because this guy, he has a couple of businesses. I was like, I know you're the type of person who wants to be all in on, your business, be your body business. But this doesn't have to be an all or nothing thing. That's what I had to explain to him. And I share this with you guys, because I know some of you are going through other challenges. It might be divorce, might be other different things that you might be going through. Is like with him, what I shared is, I was like, yes, if you want to build a solid 6-figure income and a team of, where you got 50 people coming to Summit with you, and you have this thriving team and community, and like a solid 6-figure business, yes, you're going to have to get to a point where you're like, a ton of your energy is putting into leading a team, obviously doing your own recruiting for challengers and coaches. But never in my 12 years has it always been 100% full on balls to the wall like that. It goes in different, like a roller coaster, ups and downs. Sometimes it's tons of energy, tons of effort, more hours than normal. And then sometimes the energy is a little lower. There's focus in other places of life, whether it's with kids or family or parents or wife or church or whatever it might be, or personal things, where the energy and the effort and the hours to Beachbody are not as high as other times, but there's still something there. The vital behaviors, doing a workout every day, drinking my shake every day, reading personal development every day, and adding content. And maybe I only talk to 2 people that day instead of responding to 30 or 50 messages, right? There's always something, like some continual momentum moving forward. And so what I shared with him in that instance was a little bit of that, but I was like, you don't have to be balls to the wall. Sorry for the phrase, but like, it's okay if you, cause as I was like, it's okay if your friend doesn't believe in network marketing and multi-level marketing, and he doesn't believe in home workouts. Cause he's like, I think I may have jumped in too much. Like the first couple of people, they hate network marketing and they love the gym. And I'm like, that's totally okay. Like, you should be like, that's freaking awesome. You love the gym, and you should support them in their goals for the gym, not try to push Beachbody On Demand on them if they don't want to do home workouts. And I was like, support them, be a friend to them, encourage them. You know, maybe someday they want to try a plant-based pre-workout. Maybe someday they want to try Shakeology because you love it. Right. And then you could sell a product and you earn a commission. And I was like, just me talking to him man to man and a business owner to business owner. I was like, you know, that running a business, every dollar of revenue profit counts. Like this business doesn't have to be balls to the wall for you right now. Like you could sell Shakeology and earn $32, and that's $32 of profit into your business. Like it doesn't, you don't have to hit Success Club first month out of the gate, Success Club 10, get to Diamond and 90. You don't have to do that to build this business. Like everything counts. And so don't worry about whether you can be all in, balls to the wall or not right now as you're building your other business. Like that's important. That's an important priority. Your family's an important priority. But just put the little bit of time into this because you're already working out. You're already drinking your Shakeology. So just do a little bit. And it's okay to sell one Energize in a month and get your first customer that is trying a Beachbody product. Does that make sense where I'm trying to go with that? And I think too many people fall off because they're like, I'm not keeping up with Matt, or I'm not doing like Lindsay Matway is, or Micah Folsom, or Scotty, or Jennifer Greenberg, or Tate Cox, or whoever you might look up to, and be like, I just don't have what it takes. I can't do that energy level, or I can't produce like that right now. And just do the best that you can and take little steps at a time. Does that make sense? Like right now, like I'm working on trying to close on our dream home with the loan. And there's like, yesterday is my busiest day on my business activity tracker because I do all of my follow-ups on Monday, and we had to go do the dynamite, and I got the kids out of school for it. And then we had some issues with the loan, and we've already started. The loan's not, like, there's things going on that I had to take care of. So yesterday, all I did, it was my busiest day, right? When I usually do like 60 to 70 follow-ups in a 2-hour period, plus my regular business activity tracker. Like yesterday, all I did was work out, drink my shake, drink my recover, put a post on social media, answered like half of the messages in my inbox, and I reached out to 2 brand new people and one of my brand new coaches via text. And that was it. I didn't do my follow-up. I didn't do anything else because life was busy that day. There was a lot of stuff going on that I needed to take care of. So does that mean I failed yesterday? No, right? You just do the best that you can. Think about what are some 3 top priorities or important things I could do that are going to improve my life or my business, and do that. And does that make sense? Am I rambling too much? I'm just sharing that advice with you guys because you're going to have times when maybe things aren't okay with your spouse. You guys are working through issues and you don't have energy to put in at night on your business because you got to work on your relationship, right? It doesn't mean because I can't now put 2 hours into my business because I'm working on my relationship that you got to let the business go. It's just figure out another 30 minutes in your entirety of your day, whether it's on your lunch break or earlier in the morning, or after you work on your relationship with your spouse, and just do 3 of the most important things in your business. Because I've been here for 12 years. There's going to be things that go up and down in your life, whether it's with your kids, your relationship, your health, where things like that are going to happen. And Ashley says, as a recovering perfectionist, I appreciate hearing that. So what I want to I think the biggest thing is just have the commitment, be clear on what your end goal is, what you want to accomplish. And then realize that you're going to have to modify, you're going to have to adjust, and it will never be, in my ideal day, it would be wake up. None of the kids need help with anything throughout the day. Gabby doesn't need help with anything throughout the day. I just do my workout, and after my workout, I have from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. to just crush my business activity tracker, call people, do Zoom videos, get on phone calls with my coaches. That would be my ideal day. And I do that every day for the rest of my career, right? But it'll never happen like that. There's going to be things that come up. So you just have to make adjustments continually and just know what your end goal is, which goes back to this. who you want to become, and that you're taking, at least on the days that you can't do everything that you want to do, that you're taking 3 steps that will take you towards that place, whether it's just doing your workout, doing some personal development, and reaching out to 2 people, right? Making connection with 2 people. Okay, I went on a little rant right there. Sorry about that. I hijacked the conversation again. Okay, anybody else want to share anything? I see Michelle with her video on there.
Yeah, so I can speak for a second. I just want to say that I'm kind of in that season right now where I'm doing a lot of things, you know, helping other people. And my son ruptured his Achilles, so I'm over here at his house taking care of my grandbaby, you know, because he can't, I mean, you know, like he can't get around, he's on crutches. So there's, you know, things like that, but I'm still just doing a little bit every day, what I can do, and finding a space to, you know, just make it all work. So I didn't hit SC last month. I did 2 total solution packs, and then got 3 people started on with body without a total solution pack, and I feel really good about it still. So yeah. I think that, you know, it's important to understand that progress is not, doesn't mean that you're perfect, you know, because it all, I guess for me, what I've been going through with this book is like, just be brave enough to do it messy, and that you don't have to be this, you know, high-powered, awesome, amazing human that hits all their goals in order to create change in the world. And that's my mission, is to create a community of women that affect change in their community and just make their communities better places. And the way for me to do that is to show up messy and just do it messy. So I have not finished the book, but that's where I'm at. So
yeah, it's kind of the same.
My grandbaby, and she's just amazing.
Yeah, kind of the same thing. Like, we were supposed to be at page 270. I'm on page 257. But just so you can kind of understand my mindset, I don't feel guilty at all that I didn't finish the reading. I'm like, I did, you know, I read pages 227 all the way up to 257, you know, not a huge amount. I fell short by like 20, but I was like, I still read 30 pages. I did the exercises, I wrote out my goals. And so I did something, right, that moves towards a goal. So it kind of goes in line with what Michelle's sharing right there. And I love seeing with the baby. Awesome. Progress over perfection. I was typing progress over perfection right when Michelle said progress is more important than having everything perfect. Cool. Anybody else want to share anything? There's one thing that I really loved. Oh, there's your part of the value of a challenge, the 30-60-day challenge that Sam was talking about. I really love, it's funny how when like you read the right things exactly when you need to in life. Because this whole chapter on accept the challenge, it says, if you can make the uncomfortable fun, then you're already halfway to overcoming your fear. So I ran into some things, financially with building this house, and we have our 5th vacation rental that there's some issues there. It hasn't started the build, but we have a loan for it. It's under contract and stuff. And so I ran into some issues with that, with those 2 loans, that conflicting with those 2 loans and getting approved. And we've already started. So you can imagine that caused me a little stress. Like, we already started digging a hole, dynamiting, and then they're like, hey, this loan does not look good with that other loan over there. And so I opened up that email at like 10 p.m. at night while I was waiting for Gabby to finish talking to my daughter. And let's talk about a challenge. I did not sleep that night. Like, we were supposed to dynamite the next day, and I literally like was in bed. Like, I could not shut it off, my brain, trying to figure out what was the solution to this problem, because we've started, the bank's like, we're not going to give you money. And so I'm like, oh, what do I, like, all night long, I didn't sleep at all. And like, I felt like I had high blood pressure. Like, I could feel tension in my chest. and I was just like stressed out, and I hadn't felt anything like that in years, because we've just the way that we've been living our life. And I finally fell asleep for a couple hours, figured out some solutions the next day, and worked through it. And then a couple of days later, I have some very similar problems came up again. And it literally just like 2.5 hours ago, I got a phone call and I got some of the exact same stuff, but I don't feel any of those things that I felt that one night. And it was kind of like reading this book that made me very uncomfortable, and I couldn't sleep, and I was thinking about it. And then like just facing that challenge one time, and then the challenge came up again, a very, very, very similar challenge. Like I just literally just stopped. I wrote out, here's 5 options that we could maybe possibly do. And it's a challenge, yes, but here's the 5 options and we'll just pick one. And it was the same type of thing, but I was like, it was more fun. I was like, I'm just going to make this fun. Like, this is a challenge for me to do, like to overcome. And I was like, I already know what it's like to not sleep and feel stressed out and have my chest feel like it's going to explode. Like, I figured it out the last time. So let's just write out some solutions and figure it out this time. So I love that as we're reading this book, it's like how we can apply these things absolutely right away. And I'll just share one thing at the end that of that chapter that I highlighted. It says, the thing that got me through was telling myself, it's when he was doing the marathon. He wrote, the marathon is not going to be hard. It's going to be fun. And I made a plan to keep it fun. And he actually beat his goal by doing these little things that he did to make it fun. Like he would walk up the hills instead of running them, and things like that. And then at the end, it says, challenge yourself. Challenges give you consistency in your life, encourage self-reflection, and build confidence. Always have 2 challenges, one under your feet and one queued up to tackle next. To get you started, here are some activities. And then it goes on to do the activities. And so it was kind of neat that I read that, because I had a challenge and I was like going through that challenge and facing that. And I was like, there's going to be another challenge that's coming up, and I'm just going to have fun with it. I'm going to look at it and be like, I'm going to use all these skills that I've developed over the past years to tackle this challenge and just make it fun. And so literally I wrote down those things this morning. I was able to let go of it. I did the rest of my business activity tracker. I'm here on the call and I haven't even thought about it. Like the one night I couldn't sleep thinking about it. I haven't thought about it other than just to share that experience with you guys. And then I have 2 phone calls to make after my prospect calls when this call are done. And I'm like, between those 2 phone calls, I'll make a decision and then we'll figure it out. So it was kind of cool to go through that, like identify what is the challenge and just make it fun. So whatever your challenge might be in this business, getting to diamond, maybe a lot of people have, it costs too much objection, or in your current circle, they have a stigma against multi-level marketing or whatever it might be. That's a challenge. Figure out a way to make it fun. Like I'm going to show people, some people feel like that. That's okay. I'm going to take on this challenge and I'm going to show them. Right. Cool. Anybody else want to share anything? Juliana said, I journaled earlier and wrote out progress and growth do not have to be linear. Very true. Cool. Anybody else want to share anything? And if not, we could end the call. I have one last thing to share outside of this book, but Mario, you're still muted though. I can't unmute you.
There you go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, sorry about that. Like Scotty said, I just got back as a coach. I started coaching back in 2013. I won that Beachbody challenge, lost over 130 pounds, I think, in less than 6 months with, just being accountable for everything and following everything to a T. Even though I think I just got out of my first divorce, Scotty knows right now, I just finished my second divorce, second marriage. Didn't go as, what we think it's going to be. I look at it, it's God's plan. Now I'm a single father with 4 kids. You could hear the baby in the back. he's happy. And, you know, I just won, or I say won, it's a victory. Got 50-50 custody for my youngest two kids last week. So, you know, it's been a battle, and joining back to be a coach has been like procrastination for me. You know, I have a lot on my plate, other than my 4 little blessings over there. I'm a realtor, a loan officer, I do solar. So those are my other 3 businesses that, you know, are the way I'm able to provide for my family. But I was like, I want to do what I was doing before, which is help people, which is the same thing I do in my other businesses as well. And what you guys have been sharing, it kind of hits home with being able to balance everything. You know, that's one of the hardest things, because I mean, you were up, or you didn't get any sleep trying to get that loan. You know, I kind of do the same thing. I don't pull my hair, so I still have my hair, but it's kind of gray. So it's, you know, I call it my wisdom. My gray hair is my wisdom, not because I'm old. But I go through the same thing, stressing out. And these last, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 weeks with this, with this divorce and being able to fight for the kids, you know, it's been hard. So it's the whole balancing thing of trying to figure out what to do, staying awake. So in the long run, I was like, I'm up from 6 a.m, taking the kids to school. And then, you know, I'm probably go to bed around 2 or 3 in the morning. And Scott knows it, because I'm what he says, his meme friend. I send him all the memes through social media. And you got to keep a sense of humor in this life. And I'm like, if I'm up and I'm able to do that throughout the whole day, more than 10, 12 hours, why not press play? You know, if I'm up to be able to stay up and watch a series or binge a series on one of the Hulu or Netflix, Snowfall's over. Whoever watches Snowfall, all the cartel shows, I'm up to date on all them. I know why they all went down. I will not join the cartel, but if I'm able to do that for an hour per episode, why can't I press play for either T25 for the 25 minutes or Body Beast for an hour, you know? So I want to say, since the divorce started, people were asking, oh, you know, you're dropping weight. And I was like, in my mind, I said, it's called stress. Then I made a joke about it, and I was like, oh, it's a double D program. They're like, double D, it goes divorce diet. But at this point, you know, I was actually doing Body Beast. I've dropped about 30 pounds, a little bit over 30 pounds since January, and doing Body Beast. And like I said, when I decided, and I told Scotty, I was like, hey, I'm going to join back up. I'm going to do doubles now, which is something I was doing before, you know? So I have the time. Mornings is T25 and evenings is Body Beast. On days when I don't have my kids, which even though it's been hell, where I only had them 10 hours a week, now I have them 90% of the time, because, you know, her circumstances and mine's, I work from home. I get to be the kids all day long. So, you know, it works for your favor, the way God works. And, you know, I'm happy to be back, and I'm thankful for Scotty, all the support. I think the biggest thing is, especially with him posting that men's group, is us, man. We don't show that we're vulnerable, and we're like, it's okay. I'm okay. But sometimes, you know, we need that support, whether it's from another guy, you know, it's just talking to you. Scott's been there. Or, you know, any ladies who, you know, want to hear, or you need to vent sometimes. That's the problem. I know this is kind of off track to what the book is, but just hearing you guys and having you guys here for support, I thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Mario. Dude, we're excited to have you, man. You made it through a lot of challenges in your life, and we're excited to be here to continue supporting you. He's not lying though. I get like 20 Instagram reels / memes that just make me laugh every time. And then I forward them to some of my friends and to Gabby. And I need that too, because I'm so structured, and like I try to be so disciplined in my time. And like, so I love when Mario sends me, he's always thinking about me and sending me funny stuff. and it makes me chuckle. So I appreciate that in you as a friend, Mario, and excited that and grateful that you're on the team with us. I mean, someone that's won the Beachbody Challenge before, knows these programs work. I know that, and we can just see the love you have for your family and your kids. And so I know that you'll be a great support to other people. So we're grateful to have you on the team. Cool.
Thank you.
All right, we will end it out on that. Appreciate you sharing that, Mario, and being here on your first team call. Grateful for everybody that came on here also and shared or just listened and typed in. This team, this business opportunity is more than rank advancements, more than Success Club. Hey, looks like you got a shake.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, dude.
That's my 3-year-old. He wanted to be on the call. Sorry.
That's all right. But we're so much more than just shakes and workouts and rank advancements and income. We have really an opportunity to be friends to people and to minister and help other people through their trials in lives, whether it's with health or their mental well-being or their financial. So don't ever be afraid to reach out to someone, because there's people out there that just need a friend and need someone in their corner. So, okay, we love you guys, and grateful that you're on the call. Oh, the one thing I wanted to share, because we're about to wrap up this book. We're going to read this book right here called The Happiness Advantage. I'll put it in the team page, but it's called The Happiness Advantage by Sean Anker. I really feel it. It's my favorite book, by the way, outside of like Think and Grow Rich. It's just kind of, so you know what it does. It teaches 7 principles about positive psychology and just for your overall happiness. But so many of the things in there just align with, the way you see the world, the way that your mind works, brings the results in your life that you're looking for. So it's called Happiness Advantage. I'll put it in the team page, but that will be the next book so that we're more prepared. Last time we finished the book and then we're like, we need a new book. And then it was like 3 weeks before we got started again. So The Happiness Advantage will be the new book. But we'll see you guys next week to wrap up this one. All right. We'll see you guys later, and keep working hard on your $500 bonus that Carl's giving out. Okay. We'll see you guys.